Welcome to In My Mailbox. I have a new video cam finally that I have set up, and hopefully all will run well and not sorry about the loud boys and the gaming in the background. Um, Hopefully everything will go smoothly this time. I do have some good books that I would like to share with you. The first one I have is Vampire Empire, The Riftwalker. This is book 2. The first was The Greyfriar, and I loved The Greyfriar. It was my 2010 steampunk pick. So I was very excited to get this. Basically, this takes Adele back on her journey and the impending war between the vampires and the humans is about to come about. Her whole marriage with Senator Clark is coming. Of course, she doesn't want to because she's in love with Greyfriar. And their paths cross again, and hopefully there will be some nice love between the Greyfriar and Adele, because I really would hate to see her have to end up with Senator Clark. Another book that I won, and I forgot the name of the blog that I won. No. Fiction is who this is from. This is Wildfire by Karsten Knight. You've probably seen this around quite a bit, but I am excited to get to this. This is a young adult, and this is about a girl, her sophomore year. She's a Polynesian girl. Her boyfriend's cheated on her. She transfers to a new school, and she thinks hopefully things will be okay, but things escalate. It's not as rosy as everything should be in a new school. Her sister ends up coming back into her life, and basically I believe that she is a goddess of a volcano, and her sister, I think it's something cold, or something like, it basically ends with when warm and cold fronts collide, there guarantees to be a storm. So I'm looking forward to reading this. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. I can't pass up a book deal, even if I already have enough to read. And Simon & Schuster had a romance deal that was wonderful, and they had a 3-book deal. The first one that I got is from Mariah Stewart. It's A Different Light. See that? Looks like a nice beachy read. See, throughout the years, the character of Athena Morin has stayed with me. She's writing about this character that she already knows about. Her beloved oh, this is a classic. Oh, okay, this has been out for quite some time then. This girl's a town reporter. She's asked to run for mayor. Her husband has died. Gosh, she learns things along the way. There's new direction that Athena chooses tests her strength and courage, and ultimately leads her to see herself and everyone she knows in a totally new and different light. Okay. This one looks really sweet that I'm interested in reading it, from Julia London, One Season of Sunshine. And this is about adopted as an infant, Jane Aaron longs to know the identity of her birth mother and why she gave her up. Her only clue is the name of the small Texas town where she was born, so she's come to Cedar Springs for answers. Handsome ad exec Asher Price lost his wife, the beautiful, mysterious Susanna, in a terrible car crash 18 months ago. When he hires Jane as the nanny of his 2 children, sparks fly. Jane finds herself falling in love with both Asher and his children, but begins to suspect that Susanna is not the perfect mother, or was not the perfect mother and wife the family portrayed her to have been. And as she gets closer to finding out the truth, devastating secrets begin to emerge that may be more than anyone can bear, and will the truth bring Jane and Asher closer together or tear them apart forever? That's my kind of romance. I love tension and intrigue. And this one looks really cute, even though there's a puppy on it, because I'm a cat person, and you can probably see my little cat in the background here sleeping. This is from Karen Hawkins, Lois Lane Tells All. Susan Collins always wanted to be a hard-hitting reporter, but there's not much call for her talents in Sleepy Glory, North Carolina. Then the Murder Mystery Club pops up. She decides that they have their own CSI lab at the Assisted Living Center, and strange accidents begin to happen around town. And Susan senses she could be on the news story of her dreams. Mark Trayman has returned to Glory to take over as CFO of the Glory Examiner. His job is to keep the newspaper profitable, which means covering the annual Baptist Church Bake-Off and selling ads for the county fair. Not all that too sexy for her own good. Reporter comes off with this wild story that could alienate some of the townspeople. And so basically, this, I'm guessing, the Lois Lane aspect is the tie to the newspaper, and Mark is going to end up being her Superman in some form or fashion. Also on Kindle for review, I have With Good Behavior from the wonderful Jennifer Lane, Dr. Jennifer Lane. This is about the main character is a psychologist. She has crossed ethical boundaries at some point. She's running from her past. There's a naval officer who is trying to protect one of his loved ones. He's running from his past. Somehow or another, their paths collide. They instant attraction, and um, and there's some sort of common element or some sort of common thread in their past that could be very deadly to both of them. I think there's also things like crime bosses in here, like the mob, um, to add to the mysterious effect of it. A really cool thing about this, the author, Jennifer Lane, is also a psychologist, so I'm really looking forward to this because it's always interesting whenever someone really has in-depth knowledge of what they're writing about, not just having to do the research of to get to know something. So I'm really interested to read With Good Behavior. Also Ember by Carol Oates. Both of these are from Omnific Publishing. This is a new young adult, the first in the series for Carol Oates. She also has written, oh my gosh, right out of my head. Right out of my head. Anyway, I'll put it, I'll list it down here. I cannot believe that just went right out of my head. Anyway, this is another young adult paranormal romance, and it has angels in it. Kendra is the main character. She, world of rivalry and sacrifice. There has been some sort of battle for humankind thousands of years ago. Something about her has triggered some sort of possible negation to the tentative peace that's going on. And she ends up being stalked by a watcher angel called Sebastian and romantically pursued by his rival Draven. And that sounds really interesting too. And that has a book tour that is starting with Young Adult Bound, yabound.com, if you would like to be a part of that tour. Let's see. From NetGalley, I have Only Yours. This is a Fool's Gold romance. It is adult. It's from Susan Mallory, and the main character, female character, she's one of triplets, blonde triplets. She works for therapy with therapy dogs. There's this really hot doctor who works in the burn unit at the hospital, but what he does is he goes from place to place. You want to say hi, Aaron?
Is it pointed this way?
No. I don't. I guess I can scan my house for you. There you go. Hi, Aaron. That's Aaron, who's also a reviewer for the blog. Anyway, so the doctor goes from town to town and he helps the different burn units. He's a specialist in this area. So he goes in, he helps while he can. So the most difficult cases, they call him in. But this town wants him to stay. So the mayor has asked the main character to try to talk him into staying, show him around town, let him know the benefits of what it would be like to stay in this town, and of course a romance ends up happening. And from NetGalley, The Game of Love by Jeanette Murray. She was pro tennis and she left it. There's also my little kitten. Oh, he's not happy. And she's retired from pro tennis. She's had toxic relationships with all of her jock boyfriends in the past, so she's basically written off men. She's gone to teach and coach in a small town. And a hometown boy who was in the NFL was forced to retire from NFL because of injury, and so he's decided to go back home and coach himself. And sparks will fly between the two of them, even though she's sworn off jocks. That is in my mailbox for this week, and I still cannot believe this happens every time I'm on video. I forget something. Carol Oates' story. I'm sorry, Carol. I apologize. I will know it as soon as I push stop. Have a good week.